the Lompoc Student Union, Lompoc High School Student Union, Black Student Union.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Hopefully I can be loud so you can hear me. Good afternoon. I'm here to speak to you today about Juneteenth and the importance of collective action. What can a group of people accomplish when they decide that the current status quo is no longer working? Can they change the world? Can they defeat empires? Can they move the hearts of millions? Can they reshape culture and the way that innovation happens? The answer is yes. Not only can they, but history shows that they will. Juneteenth is a testament to these very ideas. When the creators of this country declared independence, they wrote, "When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another." They declared independence not only for themselves, but for their future, for a chance at what they imagined as freedom. Yet while this was taking place, roughly 450,000 people in the colonies remained enslaved. Millions more had spent their entire lives under the institution of slavery. Children were born enslaved and died enslaved. Men and women were taken from their homes and thousands of miles away, forced into grueling labor without any form of personal freedom. Less than a century later, many of our ancestors were fighting for that same freedom during the American Civil War. Nearly 186,000 Black Americans served in the Union Army, not only fighting for themselves, but fighting for their future. Fighting for the opportunity to become free. Fighting for the opportunity to determine their own destiny. According to the history books, our ancestors won this fight. But the full story is larger than any textbook can tell. It is a story of millions fighting for collective liberation. The story of people who longed to be free from oppression. The story of a single mother with 4 Black children trying to make ends meet. The story of millions of Black kids in the United States who, just as President Obama once said, believe that America has a place for them too. This struggle for collective liberation is ongoing. It did not begin with us, and it definitely will not end with us. From the founding of this nation to this very moment, Americans have struggled to expand freedom, opportunity, and justice. And when I speak of liberation, I mean true liberation. Social liberation, economic liberation, political liberation. Because liberation is more than surviving. Liberation is having the power to thrive and to build a better future. Yet, politicians often offer us bits and pieces of small victories. We are promised reform. We are promised change and progress. But too often, the voices of ordinary people get overlooked. Meanwhile, many Americans continue to sit on the sidelines, waiting for things to get better, waiting for someone else to solve the problems that we refuse to confront ourselves. My friends, there is no liberation coming if we do not change. Our country needs more than political reform. It needs collective action. Just as our grandparents stood up and demanded change, we must also stand up and demand change. For our siblings, for our parents, for our neighbors, and for our friends. And that is why Juneteenth matters. 160 years ago, our ancestors fought so fiercely that they could not be denied. Some gave their lives. Some spent their entire adulthood fighting for people who they would never meet. Because they understood a simple truth. Progress has never been won by spectators. It has always been won by ordinary people who are willing to step out of the sidelines and into the struggle. When I was 11 years old, protesting in downtown St. Louis, Missouri, after another senseless killing, the organizer of the rally led the crowd in a chant. Out of the house and into the streets. Repeat after me. Out of the house and into the streets.
Out of the house, into the streets.
At the time, I simply thought that this meant getting people to participate. Looking back, I realized that it meant something so much more deeper. It meant stop being complacent. Stop waiting. Stop believing someone else will solve the problems that we refuse to confront. Today, we are still struggling with that challenge. Families are being torn apart. People continue to suffer while too many remain silent. So I ask, when is our turning point? When will we decide that the suffering of oppressed people is enough? When will we decide that it is time for collective action? Because there is one thing that history teaches us over and over again. Power does not exist on its own. It depends on people. A mayor cannot govern without a community. A sheriff cannot enforce laws without public cooperation. A president cannot continue to lead without the support of the people. And no billionaire can continue to profit from our division if we, the people, decide that we will no longer buy what they are selling.
That's right, yeah.
That is the lesson of Juneteenth. That is the lesson of every movement that has ever changed the world. Ordinary people acting together possesses extraordinary power. If we divest from the systems, distractions, and divisions that profit from our silence, then we can achieve true collective liberation. I'm Gary Jeffery, the president of the Lompoc Valley Black Student Union, and I hope that you have a wonderful Juneteenth. Thank you.
Yeah!